You also know that in real world, nobody is going to identify problems for themselves. They'll have to identify those problems before even they solve those problems. Hi, this is Sushil Mungekar. In last 20 years of my career, working as a professional in corporates or working as an entrepreneur on my own startups, and then again coming back into the education system and working on nurturing entrepreneur mindset among children, I realized one thing, that our current education system needs a definite, immediate and a constructive change. This channel is mere an opportunity to connect a parent in me with a parent in you. Most of us would agree that whatever we learned during our education system, we rarely use that in our professional careers. On the other hand, whatever we do in our professional careers, we have rarely learned that in our education system in a formal way. So this gap needs to be bridged. There are so many tools that we use during our professions which we feel, oh fish, I would have learned this kind of tools when I was a child itself, it could have been far better. That was the eureka when I really thought that can we pick up some of those tools and bring it back to students so that they start preparing themselves, their mindset well in advance, so that this can help them to be successful in any career that they take. That's the genesis of this masterclass. Welcome back to the fourth episode of my masterclass on 12 essential tools which you must teach your child before they finish their schooling. In the first 3 episodes, we spoke about entrepreneur mindset, why entrepreneur mindset is important for any career that they take. Then we spoke about journey mapping, how journey mapping enhances their observation, listening and curiosity. And then we spoke about 5W1H in the context of empathy, why empathy is very important and how this tool helps them to empathize with people better. So if you have missed on any of those episodes, click on the link which is given in the description below and catch up with those, because that will really help you to make your child ready for the future. Again, this episode as usual, we are going to break into 4 sections. In the first, we'll set the context. Then we'll talk about that special tool which is very important. Then we'll talk about how that tool can be used structurally. And then we'll talk about in the last section about the benefits of using this tool for the children at this age. So fasten your seatbelt, let's go. Our entire education system is today talking about problem solving and how we can nurture current children as future problem solvers. No harm in that. But one of the most critical steps in problem solving is a problem identification itself, and very little thoughts and very little attention is given towards identification of a problem, which is very critical. In our current education system, we always give a question paper to a child and we ask them to solve those problems in order to improve their problem solving. But you also know that in real world, nobody is going to identify problems for themselves. They'll have to identify those problems before even they solve those problems. And mark my words, next 3 decades, 4 decades, people who have an ability to identify problems correctly will rule the world, because they will have lot of resources, lot of people who can give creative inputs, analytical inputs to solve those problems. But unless and until they understand what problem to solve, they will not be able to do anything. And that's why this skill becomes extremely important. And now let's come to the powerful tool of problem identification, and that's 5 why. You heard it right. It's 5 times whys that you need to ask. I'm sure some of you would have heard this somewhere, or some of you would have already used this, but 5 whys makes miracle with children. 5 whys, as simply put, is basically a series of 5 why questions which you have to ask sequentially to any problem statement so that you ultimately get to the root of the problem. Let me demonstrate to you right now. Suppose I tell you that I am feeling exhausted today and I need a break, I need some entertainment, please suggest me something. Obviously you will suggest go to a spa, go to an entertainment or amusement park, or relax, or whichever way. And obviously I don't think you're not going to charge anything for this, isn't it? But instead of giving me an immediate solution to this problem, if you ask me, why are you feeling so exhausted? And I might tell you that I end up working almost 7 days a week, and that is actually taking a toll on my health. That why do you end up working 7 days a week? I say that I'm working on multiple projects, and all that multiple projects are taking so much of time that I feel exhausted. And at that stage, if you ask me a 4th why, that why do you think that you are not able to manage those projects effectively, then I would say that somewhere managing time in all these projects and allocating time is a great difficulty for me. I need a real time management. Voila, you got a real problem that I'm facing. Time management or a project management. Now, if you would have gone just on the surface that I'm exhausted, you would have just given me a solution that watch, Netflix or go to a spa and stuff like that. But now you really understood the problem, and probably you can create a value for me, and in that value you can actually create a value for yourself by giving a solution. At the same time, if you have solved my first problem that I'm feeling exhausted on Saturdays, then probably you would have solved the problem momentarily, but every time that problem would have occurred and I would not have got a permanent solution. While if you solve a problem of my time management, you would have given a permanent solution to me, I will be extremely happy. And now in this process, look at a situation where as a user I am happy, and as a creator you are also happy. That's the power of 5 whys. It helps you to get to the root of the problem before even solving the problem and identify the problem precisely. Now let's understand how children can really use these 5 why techniques. Fairly simple. They can start writing to start with, and then over a period of time they can do it orally without even irritating people. So for example, whenever they get into a situation or wherever they receive the situations, they have a natural curiosity. Let them unveil that curiosity and keep asking whys. It's not necessary that they should ask only 5 whys. They can actually go beyond that. They can stop at 3 whys if they believe that the answer that they wanted, they have got. This also helps them to reflect their own behavior in some way. If they behave and they actually identify a problem for themselves, they can keep asking questions that why this is happening, and that will really help them to go to the root of the problem that they can rectify. So in some sense, that can also be a self-reflection technique. They'll be able to improve on their own strengths, and they can remove their own weaknesses as well using 5 why techniques. And when they interact with people, they will be able to get a real sense of what the problem is, the real sense of where the buck is stopping, and that is where they can create multiple solutions to the user. Let's understand how this is beneficial for our children. Number 1, it helps them to go to the root cause of the problem and really identify where the problem is. Number 2, they will try and appreciate different possibilities of the reasons for the same kind of a behavior. If somebody is not paying attention in the class, it might be because he is not feeling well. It also might be because he has already studied. It also might be because the teacher is not making it interesting, so on and so forth. So the resultant is the same, but the behavior below that is completely different. So they will be able to appreciate and understand how multiple perspectives can be built. Number 3 is absolutely cost effective. You are actually not spending anything. Number 4, even the communication becomes fairly crisp and clear by using 5 why, because now they have understood people far better. They have understood the problem even far granularly. And number 5, it also gives them a chance for a continuous improvement, especially when they start using the root cause for themselves, and that will really help them to improve in every situation that they go into. So let me summarize what we did in this masterclass. Number 1, problem identification is as important and probably little more important than problem solving skill, and therefore we need to nurture problem identification skills among our children. Number 2, 5 why as a technique helps them to go to the root cause of the problem. That really helps them to understand the problem really better and define the problem far precisely. Number 3, as a process, 5 why can be used anywhere. It's easy to use. Multiple ways they can get into this. They can understand multiple perspectives. And number 4, this gives them a benefit to even better reflect on themselves and keep strengthening their strengths and remove their weaknesses. If you like this video, please share, please put your comments so that we also understand what are your thoughts on this. Please subscribe and please forward this to your friends. And next time we are going to talk about another tool that we believe is extremely important for children to nurture at this stage, so that they can really help them to be a better value creators of the future. Stay tuned.